welcome back to my channel. I'm Liad. Before we dive in, here's a quick behind the scenes tidbit. The adorable fluffy cat you see in my opening is Dresden, named after Harry Dresden, the wizard from the Dresden Files. We actually have 3 cats and a dog, but Dresden is the one who makes the most appearances on camera. The painting footage you're seeing in the opening is from my live streams on YouTube and Twitch. As of now, I stream every Sunday and Thursday, and I'd love for you to join me. It's always fun. The best way to keep updated is to join my Discord and to ring the notification bell on YouTube. Now, on to the painting. Well, we've made it to the end of the first week of my daily painting series. I can't believe it's already the end of the first week. I realize this probably isn't the optimal time to start this series, but sometimes you just gotta start things when it's time, regardless of optimal timing. Fingers crossed we can keep this going well into next year. This painting is, you guessed it, 9x12 oil painting on ABS, based on a photo I found online. Link and credit in the description. There are elements of this reference that usually would dissuade me from using it for a painting. Normally when I choose a reference photo where you can see the ground, I prefer it to have more depth, a stronger sense of progression through Z-space. I look for elements like streets, pathways, creeks, streams, or well-defined objects that naturally get smaller as they recede into the distance. It doesn't need to be something as overt as train tracks, and it doesn't have to be man-made, but I want a sense of depth to help draw the viewer into the scene. Technically, this reference does have that. You can see that the grass that is closer to the camera is larger and out of focus compared to the grass that is further away. But because I wasn't interested in painting individual blades of grass, in practice it feels a lot flatter. That said, the reference had plenty of other elements I thought I could work with and develop. I like the overall composition and space that gives it its mood and sense of ambiguity. And then there is the fabric. The fabric was a lot of fun to paint. It's exactly the kind of fabric I love painting. Relatively flat, with large folds and creases, free of complex patterns, and with a bit of windswept movement. The subtle color shifts were the cherry on top. I love painting those extremely delicate transitions, whether they're in hue, saturation, brightness, or a mix of all three. They add such richness to a piece, and they're so satisfying to execute. I think compressed values really lend themselves to creating atmospheric paintings, which I gravitate towards because I'm so focused on evoking mood in my work. Don't get me wrong, I love the energy of high contrast, punchy colors, and designs, but there's something uniquely challenging and rewarding about working with compressed value ranges, especially with my CMYK palette. It requires a different level of control and attention to detail. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to dedicate a week to exploring compressed values or my CMYK palette. I'm really happy with the composition of this painting. While traditional rules like the rule of thirds and the golden ratio are great guidelines, I love breaking them when it serves the story. The subject is centered, which creates an intriguing ambiguity. She's holding a suitcase and looking off into the distance. Is she about to leave? Did she just arrive? Or is she stuck in a moment of indecision? The open-endedness invites a viewer to interpret the scene in their own way. What do you think? What feeling or story do you get from this painting? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your interpretation. One element of the composition I decided to embrace was the flatness of the space. Instead of trying to create more depth, I used my brayer to create vertical and horizontal elements, enhancing the scene overall and giving it that glow. While I could have achieved a similar mood with more depth in the composition, I think the space and flatness actually strengthen and enhance the piece's ambiguity, allowing viewers more room for interpretation. Overall, I'm pleased with how it turned out. I was really torn on how to handle the subject's face. There's often a balance between focusing on the face and prioritizing the overall composition, especially in smaller paintings. I considered cropping the image differently to bring us closer to her face, but that would have sacrificed the surrounding space and the ground, which are so important to this painting, to the mood. Ultimately, I chose to keep the wider crop. I decided to really get in there and add some details to the face, but I had to make sure it wouldn't overwhelm or detract from the rest of the composition. From a distance, her face reads as indicated, but up close the detail really comes out. I love when paintings have that dual quality, when abstract elements look one way from afar but reveal their textures and brushstrokes as you move closer. One of my favorite past paintings is of a figure with barely any facial details. From a distance it works and looks perfectly fine, and you expect there to be more detail as you get closer, but up close you can see it's just a few smudges. It's fun to play with that balance, especially once you've painted enough detailed portraits to feel confident intentionally breaking the rules. And with that, we've officially wrapped up the first week of this project. I hope you've been enjoying the videos so far. Since the paintings are already completed by the time I sit down to make these videos, I've been focusing on improving my voiceovers and editing skills. While these aspects aren't the main focus of the channel, they are areas where I'm still learning and growing. If you have any feedback, whether it's about what's working or what could be improved, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your input can help me continue to improve as we move forward. If you have any other questions or comments, leave them below as well. I'll do my best to respond. I'd love to hear from you. If you're passionate about art and want to connect with others, consider joining my Discord community. The link is in the description along with my social media. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell to stay updated. If you're interested in taking this painting home, it's available for the special price of $250 on my website. Should I do one of those TV, radio disclaimer things where it's like, fast talking, saying how the painting is only available, but there's only one of them, and if it's sold already, it's not available. What is it? Subject to terms and conditions and quantity, and then add a bunch of BS side effects just for the fun of it. Maybe if I have extra time, I'll do that. Not on this video, but on another one. I just thought it was a funny idea. Anyways, thank you so much for watching and for joining me on this journey. I'll see you next week in the next video, and we're gonna keep this rolling. Have a good one.